we're gonna be building and furnishing 5 different homes today. But to build them today, I wanna use the wheel. I know we haven't seen her in a while, but on here is a list of aesthetics. This isn't the one that I normally use. For some reason, the site for the other one just got overrun by ads, but this one has a cool background, so points for that. This is gonna be similar to the random occult and aesthetic challenges I've done in the past, where we have to randomly pick an aesthetic and see if we can make it work in the occult world. Alright, so first up is Forgotten Hollow. This is the world that comes with The Sims 4 vampires. It's a pretty dark and gloomy world with not that many lots on it, and in the center we have a lovely statue of Vlad. Okay, so let's spin the wheel for Forgotten Hollow, and we are going to be doing glam. I feel like glam and vampire just go hand in hand. Okay, yeah, this is exactly what I was picturing. This is definitely more of like a makeup or a fashion look, so this is gonna be a makeup girly. Okay, but when I looked up room, this is exactly what I want. We're gonna see purple, deep reds, candles. We definitely need a vanity, like the makeup light. I love this. So let's build over here today, the Garlic Lauder Palace. Oh, place, sorry. Not a garlic palace, unfortunately. We are going to bulldoze this lot, and we are going to set our lot type to the tiny home residential. Obviously, this feature comes with The Sims 4 Tiny Living, but then up top, we'll see that we're gonna have tile restrictions. I want these to be true tiny homes today, so you can see to be in the tiny home tier, we need to have less than 64 tiles total. So that's gonna be a little bit of an added challenge today. Another thing with tiny homes is I feel like it's really easy for them to look so small, obviously, on the lot. Like they can easily just get swallowed up by the surrounding area, and then they kind of just look awkward and out of place. So I'm going in first with some terrain, and then I'm gonna use the smooth terrain tool, and we're gonna build a tiny little pathway like this. That's how Sims are actually gonna get up there. Then around this one, I'm gonna add some water, again, just trying to make it look like we're filling up the lot, even though our house is going to be super tiny. Let's fill this up with water, and we'll add some terrain paint coming down like this. We're using the old rocks in the basement trick, adding them down here so they're hidden and just peeking right above the water level. And since there are so many of those trees in the background from vampires, I'm gonna fill up the lot with them as well. So it looks like they're just coming forward from the background. Ooh, wait, I just found this big tree from Vampires Debug. We're adding that. Okay, now that we've got the landscaping underway, we need to start working on the shell. So let's start by building out this way. That is already 40 tiles, so I think I'm just gonna build off of this. So we'll build a bump out right here. I can extend it a little bit. We can maybe bring out the front bit like this. I think I'm aiming for bungalow style with this one. For the first one, I don't know if I want to go up 2 floors, but I'm already getting close to the tile limit. We're at 58. I'm adding a little 1 tile bump out for roofing purposes. Hopefully that doesn't backfire. And then I think I'll just extend the back as much as I possibly can. Okay, so this is my shell. This is what I ended up with. We're 1 tile away from the max. We are 63 tiles for this tiny home. Now I'm gonna roof it so I can show you what I was talking about with those bump outs I added. So just using some gabled roof pieces, I'm gonna add the roofing along the back like this. We could maybe even do something fun with it. Like I'm gonna copy the roofing and place it right on top of the one that I've already added. And then holding Alt on my keyboard, I'm just gonna raise that down. So it's gonna be slightly below the top one. Then when we add the roof trim, it's gonna hopefully add a more interesting detail. Then for the sides, this is gonna look a little weird at first, but I'm taking some of the roofing and I'm adding it right over top of that middle part, and I'm letting it hang over slightly. But then to fill those spaces, I want to add something. What if we added hanging plants, but with chains? Okay, I was originally thinking hanging plants, but what if instead we did hanging lanterns? I'm already thinking we go into live mode and make those glow purple. Wait, okay, it's still really dark out here, but like, do we see the vision? I'm gonna go ahead and add some wallpaper. I'm also gonna add a roof trim to this part so that instead of adding spandrels, we've got like that black trim going across. And I also know I want some roofing details, so I'm gonna go in and add these from Get Together. I always thought these fit the vampire aesthetic so perfectly. Like Get Together has a few of these, and I'm always adding them onto my vampire homes. The spikes also remind me of spikes that would be on like boots that maybe a vampy vampy glam girl would wear. And I'm already thinking ahead. I feel like this vampire should be either a makeup artist or a hairstylist. So I think it would be fun if we offered those kind of services maybe in the house. For windows, I'm thinking we use that door from Moschino, but then we pair them with the life and death like greenhouse windows. So I'm adding those windows around the sides. And then in the back here, I was thinking it was looking a little weird, the fact that it was just like flat. So adding these two columns in between where that roofing meets really broke it up. I'm thinking we add a door here in the back. And then since we're going to be a hairstylist or like makeup artist, I'm going to add this outside. This sculpture, I feel like she is like the vampy glam girly. So maybe we have two out here facing each other like that. Okay, we have a lot to get to, so I'm going to do the landscaping and then we can go inside. Okay, so we have our first little tiny home. This is the Forgotten Hollow glam vampire house. A glampire, if you will. I think it's cute. I like the girlies out front. Wrapping around too, I like the landscaping. I added some life and death landscaping out here. And in the back, I kept it pretty simple. There's not too much room. So this is what we got. But here it is at nighttime, all lit up with that purple. I feel like it looks so pretty with those stars in the background. Okay, coming inside, this is going to be our layout. We're gonna do bedroom over to this side, bathroom right here, and then everything else will be right in the center. For the flooring in the main room, I do like this wood from Vampires. It's nice and shiny, so we'll add that in the main room. But then for the bedroom, I'm thinking we do like a fluffy carpet, and we're definitely going to be utilizing some of the Vampires wallpaper. Like, we'll do this for the bedroom, and then for this room, maybe we could do some accent walls. Like, maybe we don't do all of the bat wallpaper, although I do really love this bat wallpaper because it has the plumb bob as the head. A very cute little detail. And then for the rest, I think I'm just gonna do this base game black paint. Did you really landscape if you aren't moving plants out of your house constantly? Let's maybe work on like the main area. So I think I'm gonna work on the living room, and then we'll work on the hair salon. I think I have hair on my mind because I'm getting my hair done tomorrow. Actually, depending on when this video comes out, I may have already gotten it done. And I'm terrified because I'm adding blonde. I have not had my hair professionally done probably since before COVID, so we're talking years, let alone bleaching. I used to change my hair all the time. If you go back in time on my channel, you'll see I had a lot of different hair colors over the years. I just always found it so fun to like change it up, and then this one stuck, so I kept it. I liked it for a long time, but I feel like I'm ready for a change, and I can't bleach it by myself, girl. I am not that brave. Also, how cute is it so far? So yeah, next time you guys see me, I will have blonde in my hair. If you want to see it, I guess just click on the next video. I'm so scared. Like, I can't even tell you how scared I am. It's gonna be fine. Worst case scenario, this is box dye. Again, another reason why I'm scared. I can just go back, right? Since theoretically we're going to have clients here, I'm adding some magazines. This could be like a little waiting area. Maybe you're waiting to get your hair done. You can just look at these. We can add a little plant on there. Maybe we have a little purple stool in the corner. The funny thing about this is vampires technically can't look in the mirror. So like, we'll have them, but I think it'll be a little pointless because they're gonna look in the mirror and not be able to see anything. Okay, but for right now, that'll be our living room slash waiting room. We could fancy it up even more with some columns from Get Famous. And then yeah, this is a really big space over here for a kitchen. And then are we gonna be a little kitchen salon? I think we have to be. I low-key hate that we're covering these windows, but girl, I'm going blonde tomorrow. I don't care. I'm fine. It's fine. Don't worry about me. Jokes aside, a kitchen salon is actually very nostalgic for me. When I was younger, my mom actually had this friend who was a hairdresser, and she would come over to our house and do our hair in the kitchen. And like, it was so fun. It's just like all the girls in my family getting together in the kitchen. It sounds kind of weird and probably unsanitary. Like, I am adding hair supplies on the counter. I'm absolutely living for this black and purple vibe. Like, so far, this is so pretty. We'll add a big mirror here. Again, they won't be able to see it. We're gonna put the chair here. And assuming it's two vampires, there's just gonna be nothing going on in the mirror, but it's fine. They can see the scissors moving probably. Ooh, and we have this vampire cabinet, which looks like a little creepy, but in there could be our hair supplies. I think I'm gonna try and fit that into this corner here. There's also the little book stand. I don't know what this could be. Maybe a magazine. These can be pictures of our previous clients. Maybe when this chimes, your foils are done. I'm also just gonna add little candles around. I'm trying to see if I have room for a little coffee machine so we can make coffee for our clients. Oh, and we can also serve the fizzy plasma juice. From Eco Lifestyle, this is made from the plasma fruit, which vampires in The Sims 4 consume. This is so fun, calling all all hairstylist glampires. I would love to visit your salon in the event that I mess up my hair tomorrow. I just have to fix the fact that my plasma juice is floating. Okay, cute. I love it. Let's move on. Let's go do the bedroom next. So for the bedroom, I think we need the vampire's bed. I'm gonna keep bringing the pendant lights with me from high school years. And then I'm thinking around the bed, we add this curtain from Lovestruck. I think it just adds to it. It just adds a little extra detail in the back. I'm also bringing in the columns from Get Famous. And I'm obsessed with the vampire's dresser, although it is a little big. Maybe I could just kind of like squeeze it into this corner. Like if I just gonna squeeze it between the columns like that, can we get away with it? I think we can. I was also thinking the curtains from Paranormal could look nice over the windows. The only thing is we still don't have a vanity, and that was one of the big things I wanted to have in here. So we could do this tiny desk from Parenthood, and then Vampires has this purple chair. I think we have to sub out the dresser. I need something tall and skinny like this one from high school years. For the vanity, I'll add this Vampire's mirror with the bat on it, and then we can glam it up. I'm gonna add these from Businesses and Hobbies, and they can just go along the sides of the mirror like that. All this work when they can't even see themselves, but like that's Glampire in a nutshell. We're gonna need some makeup on there. Again, Get Together just works with this end table. Ooh, what about Modern Luxe? Do we have anything in here that screams vampire? Oh my gosh, imagine she had a bite mark on her neck. Hold on. How do we do that? What can we add to make this work? It's so perfect. Like the opportunity is right there. I've been trying pool lights. Ooh, wait, okay, maybe this. If I add it on, wait, it shrunk. Okay, this is perfect. And I guess the vampire bites would be like right beside each other like this. Okay, that's everything. I kind of wish that was in the main room, but this is funny. I like it. If we could get some kind of frame behind it too, like a vampire's frame. Yes, the one from Paranormal works. That might be my best work. Should I add another one so we could practice on ourselves? I think yes, I added this one from Businesses and Hobbies. And maybe this is someone who was a stylist in their previous life, like pre-vampire. And maybe that's why they have the mirrors. They want to keep like a little bit of normalcy in their day-to-day life. Although I feel like maybe that would make it worse. Look, I don't know. I'm adding one of the clothing trunks in this gap in the corner. I also just thought maybe we should have a laptop somewhere for our clients, like for booking and stuff. And then maybe we can do the opposite for this picture. Like we added the vampire vibe to the other picture. This one, we can add the glam. Like here, we can add a little bow, maybe on his head. Oh, she is stunning. For the bathroom, I'm just decorating this 3-tile one. I'm using the fancy Get Famous toilet, a Lovestruck shower, and we're adding the vampire sink. I'm also gonna go in and add the vampire towels. I wish we had a bigger version of this as well. I'm also just adding some pictures in here from the book nook kit, and there we go. We have our Glampire bathroom. This one was so fun. I knew it would be. Glampire aesthetic. I feel like this was the perfect one to start with. I can't get over the bedroom. This one is iconic, but let's move on and we'll head over to the next world. So the next occult world we'll be building in is Glimmerbrook. This is the world that comes with the Sims 4 Realm of Magic, and this is where all of the spellcasters live. There are technically 2 different worlds that come with Realm of Magic. There's this one, which is the more mundane world, or there's the Magic Realm. This is probably one of my favorite places to build in the entire game. The school is up here, and it's just the most whimsical world. However, I've built here so many times. You can definitely find other builds that I've done here before on my channel. But first of all, this is a 50 by 40 lot, and I'm building tiny homes today, which I can't even change the lot type to. And I haven't built in Glimmerbrook in a long time. So I think we're gonna build over here on the Glimmerbrook Watch lot. This one's only 30 by 20. It's much more suitable for what we're trying to do. So I'm gonna change my lot type over again to tiny home residential. And let's come back to the wheel, and this time we're doing cutesy ethereal. Okay, this one's gonna be so fun too. So when I looked up cutesy ethereal room aesthetic, this is what came up, and this is so pretty. It looks sort of like a fairy core, like definitely giving fairy more than spellcaster, I think, with like all of the nature elements. I'm seeing a lot of sparkles, so we're definitely gonna use those lights from Lovestruck. This is gonna be so pretty. I'm really excited to bring this into the cottage. All right, so category is cutesy ethereal spellcaster. I'm gonna build a little spot out here at the front. I'll shrink this back a little bit, and then coming upstairs, I'm gonna add a second floor on this one. But to do that, we're definitely going to have to cut away some of the tiles. Like maybe we can do it if we make this bottom part not too long. And okay, this is 64 tiles exactly. I'm gonna actually try and roof this first. So I'm gonna go in with a gabled roof piece. I raised it up a little bit, and we're gonna bring that to the back. Then I wanna do something similar along the bottom, but I want this part to be really tall. So like this would be the desired roofing outcome. But with it like this, if we page down, we're gonna see that the roofing is like stuck in the center, and that's gonna be really annoying, getting in the way when you're trying to see your Sims. So what we have to do to fix that is bring the roofing back. I'm gonna hold shift on my keyboard and bring in this adjuster, and then I'm gonna copy and paste the roofing and bring it over to this side. I'm gonna bring that over and we'll also shift and bring in that adjuster. So you can see we have the shape, but now we have a missing gap right here. So now I just have to hide this. I'm just gonna bring in a tiny roofing piece, and I'm making sure that's gonna be placed above the room. So it's not gonna be on the lower level and coming in, it's gonna be above the room, same as this roofing piece here. So now it just looks the same as it did before, but when we page down, we're not gonna have the roofing in the way. Okay, so for the ethereal vibe, we're definitely gonna be using lots of Realm of Magic with Enchanted by Nature, which is the fairy pack. And Realm of Magic actually has these really pretty stained glass windows that I think we could use for this. I like this one with the rose swatch. They also have some fun door options. And you know what? We could probably still use the Realm of Magic columns. But then for the rest of it, I want to bring in that woodsy vibe. So I'm going to use these columns from Enchanted by Nature. We could even try and use like the woodsy door from Enchanted by Nature, or even just as a backdoor option. This house is just going to be full of funky windows. For wallpaper, I think I'm going to use this pale pink one for a base. That one is from Lovestruck. Okay, this is looking cute so far. I'm going to bring in some of the Realm of Magic decor. They also have the little bug lights. I could size these up and they go with our aesthetic. And then from Lovestruck, we have to add the glitter lights. I think I'm going to add quite a few of these. If the category is cutesy ethereal, we can get away with a bunch of these today. I didn't add any fun terrain on this one, but I feel like I could add a pond or something over here. So I'm going to add that over to the side. And I'm thinking for landscaping for this one, we go in with some cottage living plants. Ooh, okay, I have a filter on my game that changes some of the plants in my game to like a pinky pastel color. And this debug plant from Cottage Living is turning over in the prettiest way. So I'm going to add some of the Cottage Living debug trees here. I also like shrinking some of these and making them into bushes. And I feel like in the back of my spellcaster homes, I always like adding the cauldron out here. Ooh, Realm of Magic has these little mushrooms. They're in debug. I'm going to add those. And then I also added these ones from Cottage Living, which actually function as seats. The small one would, at least, because I did size this one up. I'm also going to add these outside. These are also from Realm of Magic debug. And then you can raise up these little orbs, and these are going to act as our lights. All right, so this is the cutesy ethereal Glimmerbrook residence. I finished up the landscaping. All of the pink trees have been added. I also added a little pathway leading to the back. So back here, there's a little bench, and then around the corner, this is where we have our cauldron area. I think it turned out super pretty back here. And here it is at nighttime, all lit up with the lighting. Okay, now we have to go inside. So I'm thinking we do maybe a kitchen over in this room. We can do a small bathroom over here. This can be a living area, and then upstairs, I think that's where we're gonna have the bedroom. I think we can definitely use the Enchanted by Nature wooden flooring in here, but for the main room, I'm tempted to use this wallpaper from Realm of Magic. That pack also has a really cute bathroom tile, and I do like the Realm of Magic flooring too. Maybe I'll bring that upstairs and we can have a different wallpaper up here. Okay, so let's start in the kitchen because Realm of Magic does have kitchen appliances and they're really cute. I actually use them in the vampire house that we just did. They do also have counters, but I feel like with this wallpaper, it might end up being a little busy. So I'm gonna combine it with the Enchanted by Nature counters instead. We can also add counters on this side. This can also be where we add our sink, and then we can go in with some of the Enchanted by Nature greenery. I feel like these two packs actually go hand in hand because one of the skills in Enchanted by Nature is the apothecary skill, and in Realm of Magic you can do potion making. So I feel like the clutter options for like the apothecary stuff could work just as well for Realm of Magic. You also need to gather ingredients for apothecary or making potions, so having all of this stuff out definitely makes sense. This is a super cluttered counter. I could even add some potions there. I'll leave that one open for prep, but we could add even more little potions and elixirs on the shelves. All right, so that's our very cluttered ethereal kitchen. The potions in live mode actually have little animations. Like you can see them just spewing little hearts here. I feel like that's just such a fun little feature. So there's our kitchen. Let's move on. Oh, we forgot a mailbox. Nothing is more humbling when building in the Sims 4 as going inside and seeing that mailbox spawn. Here, we can add a little fairy one out here. All right, in this room, this is gonna be like our living room. So I think I'm gonna add this as my carpet. We could add the apothecary cabinet by the back door. Also by the back door, we should add the broomsticks. And I also want some hanging plants in here too. I'm hoping these crystal balls can kind of look like end table lamps. Ooh, this fireplace. I totally forgot about this, but we don't really have room for it in the living room right now. I'm gonna put it upstairs for now so I don't forget. And I feel like we should bring a little bit of the touch of starlight item in the house as well. Oh, and the final thing I'm gonna add in here is some flowy curtains. Even just having it draped on that wall there, it's not even covering a window or anything. I feel like it just adds to the flowiness of this room. But this is gonna be our cutesy ethereal living room. It's super planty, very whimsical. This house must be for a spellcaster specializing in like earth magic. But next we have to build their bedroom. And this is quite the narrow spot here. If we go with the double bed, it's gonna have to be pushed against the wall like this. So enchanted by nature bed, then we can go in with this end table from Realm of Magic. I kind of want to add some rose petals from City Living, just a few. We'll add a dresser right here. We'll add a mirror. Unlike the last one, this sim will actually be able to see themselves. I just added some chairs. I don't want to lose too much room up here. So I feel like the only thing I can really add in here now is gonna be ceiling and wall decor. Okay, so this is how our bedroom turned out. I like this one a lot because I feel like the main focus is those stained glass windows. Like having the bed surrounding them really brings the attention there, and I like that. I also did lower the brightness in here because it was getting a little bright. Same thing going to this side, you're really just focusing in on those windows. We've got the fireplace, it could be a cute little reading spot. After filming this, I realized I completely forgot to show you guys the bathroom. I used the rose gold Realm of Magic bathroom stuff combined with that planty mirror. And of course, in a bathroom like this, we have glitter on the walls. But there we go, our second occult house is complete. Okay, these two have been really cute so far, but the next occult world we're heading over to is Moonwood Mill. This is the world that comes with The Sims 4 werewolves. This one is maybe my least favorite of all the occult worlds. Like a lot of the buildings here are old factories. It's kind of a mess. Some of it is abandoned. My biggest issue with this world is the lighting. It's like always foggy here for some reason, and I just feel like none of the lighting, no matter what time of day it is, it just never looks good. But we're going to be building here on the New Moon Shack. Actually, you know what? The lighting on this cottage is not too bad. So we're gonna bulldoze this. And then coming back to the wheel, we are going to be doing a pirate aesthetic for a werewolf. Okay, here's what I'm thinking for this house. We start with a weird shell. This is what I made. And then I'm going to start adding around random stuff from The Sims 4 Get Famous. There are a bunch of pirate ship items with this pack. They're for like if you wanted to make a pirate set or something. And I feel like since this world already has so much random lumber lying around, maybe our werewolf sim is just utilizing what they've got, which is pirate ship materials. Like, okay, maybe this sim used to be a pirate on a ship or a captain maybe, but then something happened to it. Like, okay, maybe they worked for the factory and they would like transport some of the materials on their boat and then the boat crashed. So they built a house out of the remains. Listen, we're gonna pull this off, don't you worry. I think I want to use some of the wallpaper from Horse Ranch. We are going to roof this somehow. Werewolves has this metal roofing we can use, and like I'm aiming for weird with this roofing. I want it to look like someone who doesn't know how to put together a house put together this house. Now we can go in and add some werewolves windows. I feel like we're getting somewhere, it's just there's no contrast on this build whatsoever, so we need a little something, and I feel like these from Get Together could potentially work somehow. We also desperately need some landscaping here, and we need lighting, which I think we can use these lanterns from Cats and Dogs for that. Over to the side here, I'm gonna add a woodworking table. That just makes sense for the person building this house. And then in the back, I'm gonna add some of the lumber that I was talking about that's kind of just like spread around this world. And for the landscaping, I don't feel like this needs to be an overly lush house, but I am gonna add some of the pine trees and stuff that are in the surrounding area. You know what? I mean, I'll give it this. It's definitely unique, definitely kind of interesting looking. I mean, to be fair, the theme is werewolf pirate, and like those two are basically the least fancy things ever. And plus, I do feel like it fits in with the rest of the world. The interior might end up being a different story though. Let's see. So I'm thinking we stick with the ladder again to get up to the second floor. Maybe our bedroom can be up here. And then down below, this room could maybe be like a bigger bathroom, or we could do a 3-tile bathroom right here and then that room could be like a gym maybe. I'm gonna use the worn down looking wood from Get Famous, and then we have an archway leading into this room. I feel like we should keep at least some of the wallpaper in here as the same wood from outside. And then for the kitchen, I'm gonna use these counters from Horse Ranch. Same thing, the inside here is not going to be fancy. I'm using like the cheapest stove and fridge. And then cats and dogs is really good for like nautical decor. So I think I'm gonna bring some of that in. Like they have this captain's wheel, but where we bring in the nautical, we also have to bring in the werewolf. So I'm making sure to add the scratches on the wall, but then I just added this picture from cats and dogs. Werewolves has this table with the book holding up the one leg. That's gonna fit in with our like homemade sort of vibe. It's kind of ironic that we're using cats and dogs for this aesthetic. We don't really have the most room for seating. I guess we could add a couch upstairs. Then we can do this cozy seating area upstairs in the bedroom. I think I'll just add a single bed here. And beside that, I'm adding the crafted end table. I think I want to add more of the cats and dogs like ship pictures. So I'm gonna do a little ship gallery wall right here. And I'll just change these swatches over to something else. We can also add some of the werewolves posters. I'm adding some more of the Get Famous props in here. I'm adding that Get Famous rug that looks like there's like cargo below it. And then behind the ship pictures, I'm just adding this from werewolves just to add a bit of a messier effect. Oh, you know what we could also add is the skull club pendant from Get Together. Get Together actually has other options with this pattern. Like they have these banners that are really fun. I added another one of the costume trunks in the corner, and I added another table in the center full of ship clutter and other werewolf knickknacks. Okay, so this is how our werewolf pirate bedroom turned out. I combined the pirate aesthetic with a bunch of werewolf clutter. Like you can see the little werewolf statues on the TV stand. I feel like these two aesthetics actually work surprisingly well together. I feel like they're both a little messy, a little chaotic. And then coming back downstairs, I tried to add some more of the skull banners. I'm working on the gym over to the side, and I actually found this werewolf mounted fish, which is exactly the combination of our two aesthetics. I added some more werewolf pictures in this room, some more scratches on the wall. I added a crafted bar stool by the punching bag if they have to take a break, and this is how our spare room turned out in the werewolf house. I tried to make this look a little bit like a storage area as well, like maybe the punching bag doesn't get used too often. On the other side, I added a barrel with a stereo, and we have another mirror. I also tied together the rest of the room with a small seating area over to the left, and on the table for them, I added some dog treats. Okay, this one was definitely the trickiest so far, but now we're ready to move on. And next we're moving on to Ravenwood. This is the world that comes with The Sims 4 Life and Death. There's a few different neighborhoods that we could build in here, but I think I want to build in Morningvale. This is actually one of my favorite worlds. There's tons of paranormal activity going on here. There are occult themed nightclubs, and the world does have a bit of a glow to it, but I actually really like the lighting that it gives off. Okay, let's spin the wheel and see what we're gonna get this time, and we get the Weird Collector. Okay, this is gonna be so interesting with like the life and death aesthetic. It's definitely gonna be a little strange, but like that's the point. We're gonna have so much clutter, so many collectibles. Like we're gonna have shelves full of things everywhere. All right, it's a little bit later. I took a little break, and we're gonna be building on the cozy casket house lot. So I'm thinking for this house, I would love to do like a Tudor style house. And I want the house itself to look a little quirky, but nowhere near as weird as the last one. So I'm gonna add an upper floor. I want it to hang off a little bit, but I'm already over. I'm gonna have to shrink my tiles if I want to do that. So I'm just going to bring it in on both sides. And this is what I ended up with for the shell. When we're building in the Tudor style, Get Together comes in clutch because they have all of that wallpaper. We can use a life and death brick on the bottom, and I think I'll also use some life and death columns for some separation. Not that we really need it. This wallpaper does have a brick on the corners, but I think it just adds a little something. I'm gonna use this trim, and I'm thinking to really make it fit in with the rest of the world, I want to use the life and death windows. These are really cool. They're super detailed. On some of these smaller walls, we could use these. And I also really love the life and death doors, so we're gonna use one of those out front. I think this sim who lives here is gonna be into like older things, like antique things. We'll use lots of older styles of furniture in here, and we do still have to roof this, so this time I'm going in with a hipped roof instead. I'm basically just using that to cover any of the bump outs that we have. I think I'll let that hang over a little bit, and we'll change it over to the life and death roofing. I think I'm adding a little balcony out front. This one is from My Wedding Stories. We'll add some terrain paint out here, and I'm thinking to make this one look a little bigger, I'm gonna add a pergola on this side. We could even just have it coming out like this. There's a lot of purple flowers around this world, and we can find a lot of them in Life and Death debug, so I'm gonna fill the lot with these as well. I'm trying to think of what I could put outside as like little collector items. Life and Death deals with a lot of ghosty stuff and the Grim Reaper, so maybe we collect tombstones. Maybe we make them. Like, I can just lay a bunch of these out. I don't want it to look like an actual graveyard. I just want it to look like they're either collected, which is kind of dark, or they're making them. Maybe the sim and the werewolf sim could be friends. Ooh, I like these debug fire pits. I'm gonna add these in the back too. And I kind of think I want to add an old creepy gate. I haven't fenced in any of these lots yet, but this could be another way that we sort of extend the lot a little bit. I think we should add another woodworking table here. In the back, I'm also adding this picnic table. I might add a bunch of books on it. I feel like inside is really where we're gonna keep most of our collections, but maybe out here is where we do a little bit of reading. Wait, I just thought of, what about a lantern collection? I'm always putting lanterns in my build, and I started just scattering around these Life and Death ones, but I think I'm gonna start adding like a bunch of different ones, and they can be part of our antique lantern collection. Luckily, there's so many different options to use. Okay, so far, this is our Life and Death ghosty weird collector home. Definitely creepy. This house is definitely putting off creepy vibes. We have all of the little collector lanterns along the landscaping. We've got the tombstone making area, and then in the back we have just a little spot to read. I added more tombstones in the back and of course more lanterns. Okay, coming inside, I'm gonna use some jungle adventure flooring for the upper and the lower floors. I think up here I'll have the bedroom, and like we can have a bunch of our collectibles on display, and then downstairs we're gonna have our kitchen, maybe a small living room, and then we'll have a bigger bathroom over to the left. So I think the first thing I want to include in here is a bunch of cabinets. We're gonna need storage for all of our stuff, but I also want it to be on display, so I'm also gonna add these shelves from Life and Death. I actually just moved this ladder into the back corner, and I was thinking, since this is a Life and Death pack that we're dealing with, I think we're gonna have to be adding a lot of skulls. We're gonna be using a lot of the Sims like strange items. This is a good one from Journey to Batuu. Like, category is weird collector. Oh my gosh, I didn't know it had spots. This is gonna go up on display. You know what? This is gonna be an opportunity. This is gonna be where we use a ton of items we don't normally use. Oh, we need to have at least a couple jars of the ghosts. We need this thing from Strangerville. I think Journey to Batuu has like a few weird things we can add on display, like this. I'm just picturing like a crazy scientist sort of person. I think we need a rocking chair. I guess we can also add some of the Crystal Creations stuff as collectibles too. And I was also thinking about using these pictures, mostly because of the butterfly and like the pressed flowers. Also, something about this picture with the fish fits the vibe. Oh, we need some of the weird fish, like the weirdos. Oh no, I hate that one. I did say I wanted older stuff as well. So for the kitchen and the counters, I'm gonna use some of the like older stuff. I can use another cabinet from Crystal Creations up top. We can add our sink right here. Ooh, another good one would be teapots. Maybe we collect teapots or like antique tea sets. There's also a lot of these in the game, so I'm gonna add these on the shelves. I might have to shrink some so they fit, but I think that'll be kind of a cool idea. I'm gonna have room on the other side for the rest of my cabinets. So I'll use an older oven over here from base game. I'm mixing and matching my cabinets, so this one's from Horse Ranch. And for the dining table in the center, I'm gonna use some Life and Death chairs. Okay, so far this is our weird collector house. I feel like some of the collections are a little more normal than others, like the lanterns and the tea sets, fairly normal, but I feel like this section over here is where it really gets strange. I do feel like it's still got a little bit of a cozy vibe to it though. We're gonna do the bathroom in a second, but let's go upstairs and do the bedroom next. So for the bed, I want to use this like older looking one. We can add a desk over here, and I think we need more of the actual paranormal like Grim Reaper stuff. Some of the tarot pictures could also work here. Tarot is another skill that comes with this pack. Oh, we need a creepy mirror collection. You guys, I have a creepy mirror collection. Listen, I don't know what it is, but whenever I go thrifting and I see a mirror, I need it. And I love like the older ones, which I personally don't think are creepy, but in hindsight, like they kind of are. I can't explain. I just feel like a lot of mirrors look so pretty. Another thing we could collect is clocks. I feel like I'm on my way there as well. So far, quite the collection of strange wall decor, it seems. There's another rocking chair we can add that matches our bed. Oh, this from Vampires for sure. Maybe more of the skulls too from werewolves. The alien fossil also fitting in with this theme. So our desk is full of tons of weird stuff. I kind of wish we had a fireplace in here, so I'll move one of my mirrors. We can sacrifice one, and I'll have the fireplace on that side. Maybe the rocking chair can go here too. Oh, there's tons of mirrors we can add in this game. And I think to pull together the green, I'm gonna add this rug from Enchanted by Nature. And then to really finalize the creepy vibe in here, I'm gonna add in some torches. All right, so this is our weird collector bedroom. Definitely giving off a paranormal theme in here. I could honestly see a ghost living here, and maybe they just used their powers to like steal random mirrors from people. Actually, I feel like a klepto ghost would be a really fun gameplay idea, and this is their room. This is what they got so far. And then for the bathroom, of course, we also have mirrors and more mirrors everywhere. All right, so Ravenwood is complete. Now we're ready to move on to the final one of the day, and that is going to be Innisgreen. This is the world that comes with The Sims 4 Enchanted by Nature. This is another one where there's multiple different neighborhoods I could technically build in, but the most common fairy one is Everdew. That's where all of the fairies live. There's also Spruce Dairy Grove, and we have the coast of Admore. So okay, let's spin the wheel for the final time, and we are going to be doing a seaside aesthetic. So I think we should actually build on the coast. This is not necessarily a fairy town, but it is really cute. I like the colorful houses that are here. We could easily make a seaside fairy home fit in this neighborhood. The seaside fairy aesthetic is very much giving off like a mermaid vibe. Of course, whenever you combine any whimsical aesthetic with the ocean or seaside, you're gonna get a mermaid vibe. So even though we just technically did like a nautical theme for pirate, this is gonna be entirely different. In the background, there's like a lighthouse inspired home. I feel like we should do something similar with the shape of this. I have my tiny home residential filter on, and I'm gonna start out by building an octagonal shape. This one's gonna be a little smaller because up top I want to build a bigger octagonal shape right on top of it. I'm gonna make this into a medium wall height on the bottom. It kind of looks like a mushroom right now. The thing with fairies in The Sims 4 is they're kind of like the most low maintenance occult ever. So I feel like we could focus a little more on the exterior spacing for this tiny home, and that means I can also add balconies. I've been avoiding that. They take up too much tiles. And this is how the shell turned out. I feel like it's like the perfect little shell. I did have to carve out some of the balcony space to save tiles, but I think this is gonna work out. Next, for the roofing is gonna be a little different than what we've done today already. So I'm using this octagonal roof piece, and I'm gonna curve that out slightly. Then I'm gonna go in with some gabled roof pieces, and I'm gonna add those onto the front like this. All of the roofing here have like these weird curved shapes, so we're definitely gonna do that too. I use Shift-C on my keyboard to open up more curvature options, and then we can just kind of play around with the shape like this. Once I'm happy with it, I'm gonna pull it to the back, and then we're gonna copy and paste the roofing on the other side. I want to complete the entire shape too, so I'm also going to use some diagonal roofing, and I'll just do the exact same thing. So this is our roofing, and I've also gone with this really vibrant blue color. Again, all of the houses around here have these really bright colors to them, and I feel like the blue just fits our seaside vibe. I think all of the windows and doors that I use for this house will be from Enchanted by Nature. I just love how the wood looks on these. And then also for these back balconies, I don't want to add like 3 doors up here because like fairies can just fly up here. So I'm gonna add some fairy homes, and these are just gonna go on each of the balconies. I still want to keep with the fairy vibe, so that means we're gonna be adding plants all over it. I'm also adding some columns. We'll add some of these lights out here. And what if I added a swing, like a DIY swing hanging from the roof? Like I started adding this plant from the Blooming Rooms kit, but then I thought about these ones from Nifty Knitting, and we could put them together, and we can find some kind of debug plank or even a shelf, and we can use that as the actual swing. Okay, perfect. This is exactly what I need. I'm gonna size it up, and I'm gonna bring it up, and I just want those little tassels to be hanging out at the bottom. So it's gonna look like this is tied right to the plank, and then it's just gonna look like it's hanging down from our roofing. How cute is that? I liked how the fencing looked in Ravenwood, so I think I'm gonna fence this one in as well. Then we can add this cute little gate. We can have a path leading out here. I think we should probably have an actual swing set, so I'm adding this here in the back. And then what do we have from Island Living? By the way, I was considering adding Sulani into this mix. That's the pack that comes with mermaids in The Sims 4, but to me, Sulani is more of a vacation world. As much as I really wish the entire world revolved around mermaids, they're like basically non-existent in that world. There's no mermaid seaside representation. And I'm also thinking about doing this similar challenge, but where we do every vacation world, so then I would include it there. But with everything added, this is how our seaside fairy home turned out. I could build fairy homes all day. They're my favorite to build. I feel like they always end up looking so good. I really like the yard. I feel like it's kind of giving vacation home, which is what I was going for. Maybe we did a little fishing. We hung up our fish here. We have our swing set. I also added a little bench. And then to the back, we just have a nice little lounging spot. Now for the interior, we are just going to be using like pale blues. I was thinking about using these chairs here from Lovestruck. They're kind of like seashell shaped chairs. We could add the actual shell above the bed, maybe a table here, and I think we should use some of the lily lights. I'm also bringing some of these plants inside we used on the exterior, and I think we should bring in these curtains from Island Living. These are so sheer and so pretty. I'll add a table here, maybe a nice tapestry. I added a dresser from Businesses and Hobbies. I'm gonna raise up a fishbowl on top. We could also tie in the nature vibe simply by adding some more of the tropical plants. We can add a trunk under this table, or even actually maybe we do the bookshelf trunk from Cats and Dogs, and then we can add in some of the fairy clutter on top. Okay, the fairy lights with the flip-flops, seaside fairy. So this is our seaside fairy home. In the world of Innisgreen, we've got a combination of some of like the vacation seaside items mixed together with a lot of the Enchanted by Nature stuff. I love the combo of the sheer curtains with the bed. I did also build the world's most awkwardly shaped bathroom in here, but I think I managed to pull it off. Again, I don't think fairies need the bathroom, but we have one just in case. And then on the bottom floor, I definitely want to add this aquarium. This is the prettiest one we have from Dine Out. I think I do want to add an apothecary table. Ooh, maybe since they live by the sea, this fairy could make elixirs for sailors, like seasickness. There is so much collecting involved with the apothecary skill, so maybe they collect seashells by the shore, or maybe mermaid kelp is one of their ingredients. I'm not gonna bother with the kitchen or anything for this one. If anything, we could just add a little barbecue outside. I always thought this item from Journey to Batu kind of looked like coral hanging. We've got these fish we can add from Dine Out, and that is the final room we have in our fairy house. We've got our aquarium, some little ocean collectibles, and the apothecary table. But that has been us building 5 different homes in The Sims 4 in every occult world. Let me know which one was your favorite, and if you like occult themed builds, you'll definitely find a ton of them on my channel, as they're some of my favorite types of builds to make, so I'll link some of those videos down below if you're interested. I guess I will see you guys next time when I'm blonde. Wish me luck, and if you guys like the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.